Hello, everybody, and welcome. How's everyone doing?
Good. I'm breathing, so.
Hold on a second. Something's wrong with my audio over here now. Look at that. Pro streamer stuff. Um, Here we go. Don't know what that was going on. Everybody's stuff is going wonky. But thank you and welcome to It's a Wild 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 Mount. Hello, my players.
Hello.
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 All right, so as I said, we have some technical difficulties that are happening currently. We are working through them as best we can, but we are going to soldier on and continue playing the game. So, yes, Grant, Camception. So have a few quick announcements, and then we're going to jump right into the game. So the very first announcement is the Monster Hearts 2 session is officially over. But the week of the 16th, most likely the 16th of August, we will be doing a wrap-up session where the players and those of the viewers who have been watching Monster Hearts will actually just get to ask questions about all of the stuff that happened in the game that people might still have questions about, or things that are unresolved, or things that the DM did that pissed off the players, stuff like that. So that'll be happening. As I said, most likely August 16th. Look to our social media as that date gets closer to see if we verify or not. But it's most likely going to be the 16th. Second announcement is, as of last night, our Lost Mine of Phandelver campaign is coming to a close. Next week will actually be our final epilogue session of the campaign, as the players completed the final dungeon last night and cleared out the mines. So if you are interested in asking questions about that campaign, shortly after next week's session, we will be doing a similar wrap-up session. So stay tuned to find out when that is. And also next week, when we do our epilogue session on Wednesday, there will be a special announcement for future streams. So if you're interested in finding out what that might be, you might want to just tune in. And so that's there. We still have, the third announcement is, we still have merch from our Monster Hearts game still in our store. So if you have not picked up any of the t-shirts, the mugs, the hoodies, the bling bling, as the kids call it, please, by all means, there are even stickers of our favorite characters with amazing artwork by Isaiah Roa, also known as Legend Lore. You can pick that up if you go to our merchandise store, which you can actually in the chat, you can just put !merch and a link will pop up. And then finally, Friday Night Magic, folks. Every Friday, 8 p.m. Be there or be square. I'm going to say a lot of old people shit. So, like I'm doing right now. So, I just said it. Be there, be square. That's old. If you want to see me suck at Magic, rage at the game, but love the hell out of my friends while we play, then that's probably the stream for you. So you might want to show up and just play a little bit of Magic. It's D&D related also right now because of the new D&D set that dropped. Last week, I played a bunch of decks with my buddy Dead Ninja, and man, those decks are crazy. And I've just been tweaking and playing and just trying to get them going where I wanted them. And geez, they are so much fun. So Friday Night Magic's 8 p.m. Be there. And yeah, that's kind of it for the announcements. So with that, let's get to the game. Alrighty, so last we left off. Hold on one second. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can fix this camception here just for a moment, just to tweak it slightly, just so it's a little less distracting for folks. And by folks, I really mean me. And while I'm doing that, as a reminder for folks who do not remember or recall, you can purchase inspirations for the players and myself, which will come in handy throughout the game to give folks inspiration, advantage in certain instances. Again, you can determine who gets it, the group or an individual. Each person gets up to 2 that they can give to the players. If you're feeling a bit saucy and you want to give some inspiration to me, everybody gets 1. Just like Spider-Man says, everybody gets 1. So make sure that you use them wisely, but use them. Alrighty, so as we come back to the game. Last time, you were finishing up plans on what to do next concerning some of the things that you personally would like to take care of amongst your group. During this time, Leopold, your mentor, your protector, your trainer, the guy who
tormentor,
the guy who just loves you all to death, was being helpful and trying to give you a little bit of information that you were asking for, gave you some introductory materials to get to the Cobalt Soul, so you can actually peruse some of their library. And some of you were able to get information that was helpful. Some was a little less helpful, but information nonetheless. And while some of you were out shopping, you were accosted, is a good word, and taken to an unknown location, both Leah and Galen, where it seems someone would like to have a conversation with your entire group. Not happy that only 2 of you were acquired, he decided to put you someplace to wait until your friends showed up. Your friends received their invitation to a dive bar somewhere in Zadash known as the Evening Nip. The rest of the group decided that it might be a good idea to go, see where our friends are and, maybe help them. And met up together outside of the Evening Nip, where a rather large bouncer sitting outside notices them and motions for them to enter, as if somewhat expecting. And that is where we left off last week. So currently you're all just kind of standing across the street from the Evening Nip, and the bouncer is just sitting there with his arms crossed, just kind of like motioning with his head for you all to go inside. What do you do?
We go in?
Yeah, we go inside.
Right before we walk in, I whisper to everybody, remember, observe your surroundings.
I just kind of nod my head at Dorina.
Okay. So, you all begin to make your way inside of the Evening Nip. And as you make your way inside, you see that it's a pretty small hole in the wall kind of bar. The bar itself is probably 20 by 30 feet. There is a central lit candle chandelier. The floor is made out of wooden boards. There are a number of very small booths that are built out of wood as well. It kind of feels like one of those old England pubs that you might find, just kind of like, oh, this has been around for 200 years. Like it kind of has that feeling to it. But the moment you walk in, you're kind of hit with the smell of dried beer and ale and rotted wood. And it's very quiet. And as you walk in, you can see behind the bar is a very old dwarf, kind of craggly skin, looks like half his beard has been burned away. And he's just kind of like with a grimace as you all look in, kind of raises an eyebrow. As you all make your way in, who's the last one inside?
That will be me.
Okay. So Sara, as the last one in, as you all walk in, you can feel, and you turn and you can see the bouncer get up from his chair and follow you in and close the door behind him. As you all kind of look around, there's about 4 or 5 individuals. They're all just kind of sitting at different locations throughout the bar. They're just kind of like sitting there with their drink, and they all turn and they kind of look at you. And as the bouncer closes the door behind you, Sora, he says very loudly to the whole bar, "These is the ones we've been waiting for." And immediately, the 5 individuals who are just sitting there immediately get up. 2 of them pull out hand crossbows, and point them in your direction. The other 3 just kind of get up and put their hands on what you can now see are short swords. The dwarf behind the bar just kind of looks at all of you, goes, "You probably all want to take a seat." And he kind of points to one of the tables that are like somewhat in the middle of the room. "I suggest you sit." All right.
I
So,
sit.
all right. So you all walk over to the table, sit down.
Yeah, I kind of stand next to Jarina.
Well, Jarina sits. So you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by her chair.
The bouncer is right behind you, and you feel something sharp in your back.
I roll my eyes and I sit next to Jarina.
The bartender just kind of comes out from behind the bar. He slams down this really old-looking pitcher and sloshes down some ale onto the table that you're at, and just haphazardly begins throwing mugs in your direction. "Yeah, it's on the house until your host shows up."
Thanks. I whisper to Jarina, tell them not to drink anything.
So, as you are just kind of staring awkwardly at each other, the other individuals kind of surround you at the table that you're sitting at. They're not directly behind you, but they're kind of maybe 5 feet away from where you're sitting, but they're just kind of standing there watching you.
Talk. Hey, I'd say, where are our friends?
The dwarf, as he's beginning to walk away, just turns around and goes, "Don't worry, you see him soon enough. Just Have a drink. Try to relax. Hold your horses.
How do we even know they're still alive?
He kind of turns around and chuckles a bit. He goes, well, you're fucking still alive. They're still alive. Don't worry.
Sora's got a sour look on her face, like she bit into something distasteful.
The bartender walks towards the entrance of the bar where you all came in, walks out of the door for a moment, and about 10 minutes go by. What would you like to do in these 10 minutes with these 6 individuals surrounding you?
I'm going to look around and see if there is possibility for escape, just in case.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
It's too dark. I can't see anything.
What'd you get?
3.
3. As you're looking around, the thing that you can immediately see, there are no windows in this place at all. The only door, the only doors that you can see are the way you came in, and to the far wall that you're sitting by. There is a small door that looks like it's possibly goes into a closet or storage area. That's about all you see.
Hi. I was wondering if I could also study the faces of the people, see if I recognize anyone, see if there's anything else that's out of place around here.
Sure, make a perception check.
Push to talk?
It's pushed.
23.
23. You don't recognize any of these individuals, but what you do see is that they're wearing black leather armor underneath their cloaks. They're wearing these scarves. Some of them have them over their face. A couple of them don't, but they're just kind of like scarves around the neck, hoods up, and they're kind of looking at you all pretty indifferent, but very prepared to do something should you all do something. But outside of that, there's no identifying marks or things about them that you can find. And that in itself is very telltale. They seem very as plainly dressed as possible, to what you would assume to not make themselves appear anything. Just to seem normal, not out of the ordinary. I can speak words. I swear I can. Jarina.
I would like to smell my drink and see if I could detect any poisonous odor.
Sure. Make a medicine check.
That was a nat 19, making it a 21.
21. So you kind of pull the ale over, and before you even lift it up completely to your face to sniff it, the first thing you smell is it smells awful. But as you kind of like take a really strong whiff of this awful smelling ale, it's awful because it's not a great ale. You don't detect any hints of any kind of poisons or anything that would probably hurt you or your companions should you drink it. But it doesn't smell like the best ale at all. It just something a little off about it, but it's not dangerous. So what would you like to do? Are you going to have a drink?
I am going to I am going to just take a small sip.
Okay. Yeah, it's nasty. It's bitter. But it's definitely ale. Like the alcohol content in it is not lessened by how disgusting it is. But this is that kind of ale that if you had no money, but somebody offered this to you to drink and you were desperate enough, you drink this. You wouldn't get sick or anything, but it's just nasty.
Oh, it's like when people leave the beer in the mug, and the bartender turns around and he puts it in this big old tub and just dips everything into there.
That's disgusting.
Yep.
But thank you for sharing. So
What is Maya doing?
she's just kind of like hunched on your shoulder, just looking around.
I want to ask, is it okay if I give my pseudo dragon a little snack?
All of the individuals, they kind of look at each other for a moment, and then the bouncer goes, I don't care.
All right. I just didn't want to make any sudden movements, and I just take out one of the small fish and give it to Maya.
Yeah. She begins to gobble it, no problem. After about 10 minutes, the bartender returns, and he's not alone. He is with 4 other individuals. One of them slightly larger than the others. And as they kind of walk in, they all have kind of the same black, indistinct cloaks. And they're all hooded. But the larger one pulls his hood back. And standing before you all is your good friend Roderick. The one that you chased down unsuccessfully in the woods, unfortunately. And he's got a big smile on his face.
I kind of spit on the floor.
He kind of looks, and everybody starts chuckling. And Roger's like, oh, good. You remember me. It's good to see you all again. Probably thought you'd never see my face again.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too. But enough with the pleasantries. I think you want to see your friends, right?
Yes. And I want to whisper to Sora, please keep your emotions in check right now.
You see a little flame come out of Sora's left nostril and a slight growl in affirmation.
So yes, you'd like to see your friends?
Yes.
All right then. So what's gonna happen is you're all gonna get disarmed. And take your weapons. Don't worry if our meeting goes well, the chance you get them back, along with your friends. As long as none of you, and then he looks right at you, Sora, try anything stupid. And all behave ourselves and probably get through this night without any issues. Sound good? Oh yeah, we're also going to throw bags over your head, so don't freak out.
I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah, it sounds like a problem you're going to have to get to take care of quick, fast, and in a hurry, isn't it?
Absolutely. Commence.
And the other 4 individuals that came in with him begin to systematically take your weapons from you. Now, is anybody going to try and keep a weapon, hide a weapon on themselves?
I'm trying to think if my wand is visible or not.
Well, this is the time, because they're searching all of you to take your weapons. So if you're trying to hide it, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not going to try to hide the wand.
Okay. So they will find it. Yes.
I want to try and hide my dagger in the inside of my arm guard.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check at disadvantage because you do have a group of people around you who are actively watching all of your movements.
I get so lucky. 13?
13.
Wait, you said stealth, right?
No. Sleight of hand.
Oh, sleight of hand. Oh, okay. I forgot to add. That'll be 18 then.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. So they begin taking all of your weapons. And Phoebe, as they go for your weapons and such, you very deftly hide your dagger inside of your bracer. And no one seems to notice. So as you are disarmed and the four individuals kind of pull away with what they have of all of yours, Roderick kind of nods to the 6 individuals all around you, and immediately you get hoods thrown over your heads.
Is there anything I can do to see if I can sense where we're being taken?
Sure. So here's what happens. As the hoods get thrown over your heads, they grab you and they all begin to spin you around, and they begin to walk you around the room very, very quickly. You do go outside. You can feel yourself kind of go outside slightly and then back into a room. And then they continue to spin you all around. They do this for a good 3 minutes. So, Sara and anybody else who would like to try to figure out what they're doing and where they're taking you, please make a perception check at disadvantage. All right. So, Jarina, are you trying?
I got a 4.
Okay. Unfortunately, they spun you around pretty good. They let Maya stay on your shoulder, but they kind of pulled the hood over, so she's under the hood with you. Just so you know. Rowan?
I also rolled a perception check. I got a 20.
Okay. Hold on. Sara?
15.
And Squall, did you roll?
12.
Leah? Oh, no, Leah, you're downstairs. Phoebe?
16.
Okay. So Rowan, Squall, unfortunately, they spun you around pretty good. It's kind of difficult to figure out, like, if you're even back in the same room or not. Rowan, Phoebe, and Sora, they did a pretty good job, but you still get the impression, based on the nasty smell of dried beer and such, you're still in the bar. But where in the bar is a little difficult to tell. But they definitely, when they took you out and then brought you in a couple of times, it wasn't like they took you out and brought you to a new place. They definitely kept you and brought you back into the bar you were just in. But you're not entirely sure. It's not huge. The bar itself is not huge, but you're definitely not in the place that you were previously, meaning the area where you were sitting. Eventually, after this kind of whole rigmarole, you hear a bunch of chairs, a bunch of tables being moved. You hear some chains rattling. You hear what sounds like ropes on a pulley. You hear what sounds like banging of like crates. There's some dishes or glasses that are, a couple of them are broken. And then you immediately find yourselves descending downstairs. And you're still being held and guided, but you're definitely going down. And as you are heading downward for about a good 5-6 minutes, you definitely start to feel the air get a little staler. But more interesting, you begin to hear music. And you continue to be led somewhere where the music then begins to get louder. And you can actually hear what sounds like laughing and joking and the clinking of glasses. And at some point, you are stopped. And then immediately all your hoods get pulled off. And the light's a little blinding because it's definitely a little brighter in here than it was where you were previously. And you find yourself in this very interesting bar. And as you look around, you can see that it is actually a 2-story bar. The ceilings are about 20 to 30 feet tall. And the second floor is actually bisected with balconies. So the second floor itself, you can actually see all the way to the ceiling, but you can see people sitting along the balcony. And there's also, you can see doors behind them. Ahead of you is a much nicer looking bar than you were just previously sitting in. And you can see about 24 individuals all throughout the bar. Some of them drinking, some of them talking, some of them laughing, but all of them staring at all of you. And while the talking and laughing has kind of subsided slightly, it has not gone completely away. You kind of turn around and look around, and immediately behind you are still all of the 10 individuals, including Roderick, kind of standing behind you. And Roderick just kind of points to the far right of the bar. He goes, "All right, make your way over that way. Your host would like to see you." Drina.
I would like to observe around and see if any of these individuals have any weapons.
You don't even have to roll. They all are armed. They're not making any bones about hiding it. Most of them, their cloaks are off. And you can very clearly see daggers, short swords, and small crossbows on most of them. All of them wearing black armor. And some of them look like they were recently in some kind of scrape, while others just look, like they've been in fights previously, but not recently. The only cloaked individuals you actually do see are up on the balconies. And as you get closer, anybody who would like to can make a perception check. Jarina?
9.
9. Anyone else?
Sora's trying to keep her temper in check.
Rowan?
So she's a little bit inward, and I rolled an 8.
Sora got an 8. Rowan?
17.
17. Squall?
Nope, still dizzy.
Phoebe?
16 again.
16. Okay. As you are making your way to the area that Roderick pointed out, you can see these cloaked individuals. Rowan and Phoebe, you both see there is this hint of metal. And as you stare, you can now see it a little more clear. These long metal tubes with these wooden handles at the end that are just kind of resting on the inside of all of those figures' cloaks along the balconies. Not sure what that is. But there's long metal tubes with wooden handles on. As you begin making your way towards the area, you can see this long, dark mahogany table. Beautiful. It's polished. It's impeccable. Around it are 8 chairs. But at the end of the table, what would be considered the head of the table, with his feet up on the actual table itself, his hands steepled in front of himself, you see this dark blue teal skinned individual. Long black hair that comes down to a widow's peak, a very fine oiled goatee, more of a Van Dyke really, and he's wearing a very expensive looking blue silk shirt with the chest open almost to the clavicle, to the midsection. And he's got many rings on his fingers, and his boots, which again, his feet are up on the table, his black boots are just kind of up to the knee. And he sees you all. He goes, "Oh, hello, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Sora, could you please get our other guests? Their friends have arrived." And as he says this, you can see sitting next to him, but you didn't realize that she was sitting. You thought she was possibly standing until she rises. You see this 8-foot Goliath woman just stand up, and she kind of nods and heads over to this door that's maybe about 5 feet from her. She kicks the door open. Leah and Galen, the door is suddenly kicked open, and light just kind of like blinds you for a moment as you are all very, very trussed up as you woke up from being knocked unconscious, and you were all tied like a Christmas turkey. There was no way you were getting out of those ropes, especially as the door kicks open. The little creepy gnome who knocked you both out has been staring at both of you for the last 3 hours, unmoving and just chuckling at you randomly. As the door flies open and this large Goliath woman comes in, she just grabs you both by the ropes that you're tied by, picks you both up, walks out, and she's kind of holding you both like luggage. And then she walks over to the rest of you, and you can all see now Leah and Galen completely tied, mouths bound, and she just kind of like drops them on the ground. 2 individuals run over to them and begin untying them, like cutting their ropes, and they take the bandanas off of their mouths. And Leah and Galen, you are now untied, and your friends are all there right now.
I'm assuming my disguise is off.
Oh yeah, you are a drow to everybody, and your hat is not on your head.
You guys okay?
We're okay.
We'll be fine.
Oh
Leah
yes,
is visibly pissed.
Oh no, of course. Your friends are perfectly fine. I was expecting all of you at once, but unfortunately, your 2 friends were the first ones to arrive. It was not exactly a hospitable beginning to our introduction, unfortunately, but that's something I would like to rectify. So please, by all means, all of you, please have a seat. Do you all sit?
Yes.
Sure.
If there's a seat closer to him, I would like to take that seat.
There are seats closer to him, but they're still maybe about like 4 feet from him. It's a pretty long table. So as you all say, he says, good. Well, I believe introductions are in order before we conduct our business together. I am the gentleman. Welcome to my bar, the Evening Nip. I've asked you all here for various reasons, but please, I've introduced myself. It'd be very rude if you didn't introduce yourselves as well. And he kind of holds out his hands, waiting for you to all introduce yourself.
I'm Jarina. This is Maya, and I point to Maya.
Jarina and Maya, pleasure.
Name's Galen.
Galen,
Rowan.
Rowan, of course.
Leah.
Leah,
Sora.
Sora,
Squall.
Squall. I like that. That's a good name.
Do we recognize what he is?
He kind of looks
I'm
at
Phoebe.
He looks at Phoebe. Phoebe, excellent. I would say just say anybody who's trying to figure out what he is, which is not a really cool thing to ask, but if you want to know what he is, make a general intelligence check.
Got a 9.
You have no idea. Jarina?
15.
15. Rowan?
6.
6. No clue. Leah?
Let me roll.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's just anybody who
I
wanted to.
rolled the wrong die.
I'll try. I rolled a 19. What do I add to it?
This is just your general intelligence, so whatever your intelligence modifier is.
Can I re-roll the correct die?
I don't have a modifier.
So 19? Sure. Phoebe?
That was worse.
I rolled 18
18?
plus the modifier.
Okay. Galen?
Not rolling. I don't.
Rolling? Okay.
He doesn't really care.
All right. Squall.
I didn't.
You didn't roll? Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. All right. Anybody who got above a 15. As you're taking a look at him, you're trying to figure out what his deal is. There is a light sheen of moisture just to his face, to his skin, to his hands. And then there's a slight similarity almost to Squall. And you realize he's probably a water genasi.
That's cool.
And he goes, all right. Introductions have been made. Excellent. So let's all have a discussion about why you're here. Would anyone like to take a guess? Jarina, yes?
Could it be possibly the altercation that we first saved Roderick in?
As you say this, everybody in the bar starts chuckling, except for Roderick. And the gentleman just like, that's part of it. Yes, that's a good guess. It's a good guess. Well, I mean, let's just put it this way. I'll just start from the beginning.
Never
shall-
mind.
What was that?
Oh,
Let's just start from the beginning, shall we? Yes. It seems that your little band has had some interaction with my people. This is considering the type of work we do here. Um, interactions like this are part and parcel of what we do. Now, I heard some interesting things that some of those things I would like to hear, what your version of that story is. Because I'm a curious man by nature, and I pride myself on knowing things. And so I understand that initially, you came in and aided some of my men in a particular chore that they were on for me. But then I am to understand that after coming to the aid of my men, and them actually thanking you and being nothing but courteous to you, unprovoked, you attack them, and then not only attacked them, but killed a few of them, and attempted to also kill my man Roderick. Is this an accurate interpretation of the facts?
Not unprovoked, unfortunately. My friend Sora smelled a broken dragon-born egg from one of the pouches, and as she is a dragonborn, felt the need to retaliate.
Roderick kind of leans down, whispers something into the gentleman's ear. Gentleman kind of nods, goes, "That's interesting. Our definitions of provoking something seem vastly worlds apart. Because I have never smelled a terrible meal and felt the need. Well, actually, that's not true. I have killed someone for burning my food. That's a bad metaphor. I will say that most people who are not myself, and apparently your friend Sora, interesting name, by the way, and he kind of looks to the he looks over at his Goliath companion, and she spits on the ground when he says that. Most individuals would not smell something and be provoked. But outside of the word provoke, this is a accurate interpretation of what happened. Yes.
I look at everybody.
Sounds about right.
All right. So then this happened. And considering that Roderick is a man of talent, and one of the reasons why I use him for certain things, he was able to escape your wrath of smelling. I would assume we would call it this. And then, out of nowhere, it seems you, and again, it sounds like you were working for the crown in this endeavor. You bring the bodies of my fallen men, my people, to the feet of the crown. In an instance where we were just but a rumor for at least the last decade. No discernible proof of our existence. And the 7 of you provide actual, verifiable proof that we are here. Over smelling and egg. Is that an accurate interpretation of the facts?
No.
Sir, if a bear were to eat a child, would you not take care of the bear?
He leans, he takes his feet off the table, and he leans real close in. And he just stares right into you, Jarena. And then he turns his head and stares right into Sora. And he seems to make up his mind about something. He kind of leans back, begins stroking his beard. You really don't know, do you? Interesting. So, based on your reactions, based on your response, it seems to me that you are under the impression that rather than this was a mere delivery of goods, you are taking this as a kidnapping?
Oh, absolutely.
And he chuckles at this. And then you really don't know. See, because I know that you are also the individuals who disrupted my delivery at the point of origin in Zarzeth Kittrell as well. And what you seem to be left out of the loop on is that there's a problem, my dear. And he's looking right at you now, Sora. There is a deep-seated problem in your homeland, where not every one of those eggs are fertilized. And the ones that I needed to deliver were of the unfertilized variety. But see, the leaders of your land, of your particular city, like to keep everyone in the dark. And no one, except the scales, know that this is an issue. Well, no one but them and myself.
Well, I was not part of this adventuring group back in Zarzeth Kittrell. So I have no idea what you're talking about. And second, I don't know that I can believe what you're telling me.
That's fine. Believe me or not, it is the truth. And that means that the attack was unprovoked. And therefore, you have slighted my men. And by slighting my men, you have slighted myself. You have also impeded delivery of goods that have been paid for in advance and have involved yourself in matters that are not of your concern. Add to that you have also started this investigation into my group because now the Crown knows we exist. So, if you were in my position, what would you do? I'm curious. I'm very curious to see what you would do if our roles were reversed. Anyway.
For starters, I would like to see proof that those were paid transactions at all. Because I don't believe a single thing that's coming out of your mouth.
Can I make an insight check of this whole conversation or not?
Sure. Yeah, in fact, anybody who wants to.
Leah would like to be readily looking for any way to escape this.
Sure. Make a perception check. So who made insight checks? All right, Jarena, what'd you get?
18.
Okay, Sora?
14.
14. Galen?
19.
19. Phoebe?
23.
Yeah, all of you that made perception insight checks. Every single word that is coming out of his mouth is precise and to the point. And he's very, very carefully choosing the words that he is saying. However, while that is definitely the mark of a very, very hard to read individual, what he is currently saying to all of you, he seems to believe and seems to be being forthright and honest with you about this particular issue. And doesn't seem to be holding anything back as far as what you are currently discussing.
Press the top. Sir, respectfully, we were paid to do a job. Every time we get paid to do these jobs, somehow we wind up getting mixed up with your organization. It's not something we're trying to seek out. It's not something we're trying to reveal to the authorities. It's just what keeps happening. So we did not mean to disrespect you. On the other hand, it was a job and we did it and we showed proof that we did the job, and that was that. We didn't say the word myriad to the Crown's Guard or anything of that nature.
He just looks right at you, Rowan, and definitely through you. Well, I hope that you were paid well for the work that you did. Because not only were you paid for your job, but now it's time to reap the consequences of the work that you did. And whether you believe what I'm saying or not, I don't care. This is a courtesy. I am a gentleman after all. And I wanted to try and get a measure of these individuals who have not interrupted my business just once, but a number of times. So, what I'd really like is for someone to answer my damn question. If you were in my position, what would you do?
Execution?
He kind of turns to you, Galen, and you see like a twitch in a corner of his mouth, and he just continues. He's looking for the rest of you to actually say something.
I would try to figure out a way to procure compensation, whether in a quest or such.
Anyone else?
I would agree. Compensation is in order. Your business has been infringed upon, and we can compensate you for it.
He waits for a few moments, and you all kind of look around, and you realize that as he raised his voice, it is now deadly silent in the bar. The laughing, the talking, the music has stopped. And above you, on the balcony, those individuals who had those long barreled pieces of metal in their robes, those barrels are out of their robes and are all pointed at you. And you can see they look like rifles. And he kind of puts a hand up, and they immediately put the rifles back into their cloaks. Now, granted, you all don't know what rifles are in this world, but just so you know, out of game, you're aware of what these are. And he kind of waits for a moment, And he sighs. Well, while execution, and he looks at you, Galen, would be swift, your other friends are correct. How would I be compensated for my losses if you were all dead? Now, it's good to see that some of you have a head for business. So, I would like to offer you an opportunity to make things right. Now, should you decide not to take that opportunity, that would be your decision, but it would be an unfortunate decision for you to make. Not because I would kill you dead here, no, not at all. It was much easier to make sure that while you are running from me for the rest of your lives, looking over your shoulders, constantly waiting for something to happen at any moment, that would not be your only issue. And he holds his hand out, and as he does, the little creepy gnome kind of like saunters over and puts pieces, like it looks like 2 or 3 pieces of paper in his hand. And he kind of pulls it together. I came across the most interesting read. Let me please share it with you. I think you'll find this very interesting. And he kind of looks at it. Yes, from the desk of the Lawmaster of Trustin. The report is pretty dense itself, but it's very interesting read. I'll just give you the tidbits that I enjoyed myself. He points over to you, Rowan. This pallid elf is flighty and possibly brain-addled. It is unclear whether she actually knows where she is. I will just caveat this by saying the Lawmaster of Trustin does not think highly of all of you. Just putting that out there. You might already know this. You, and he points to you, Leah. The Tabaxi is shifty and is a possible thief. Myriad ties, ? Obviously, you're not part of my little group here, but she doesn't seem to think so. And you, he looks over to you, Sora. This individual, the Dragonborn, is new to this group, and dangerously inquisitive spy ? And you, points to you, Jarina, seems to be unsure of surroundings and herself. She has very strange mannerisms and does not have control of the pseudo-dragon pet. And you, and he looks over to you, Phoebe. This pallid elf, different from the other, seems to be very calculating and shrewd, very dangerous. I think these are probably very accurate descriptions of all of you. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. And he just looks right at you, Galen. Crick! Not my words. These are hers. Possible assassin, more likely spy, uses a magical hat to disguise himself through illusion, dense, drunk, and dangerous. I like that, the 3Ds. I'm a big fan of the 3Ds. And you, my boy. And he's looking now right at you, Squaw. Herr Genasi, confessed expatriate of the Kreen dynasty, likely trained by military, cold, calculating, and a strange disinterest in his companions. either knowingly or unknowingly, working with Kreen operatives, detain them immediately and begin interrogations. So, and he kind of hands the paperwork back over to the creepy little gnome. I was very interested when this report crossed me that what are the odds that the individuals who have been damaging my business are now upsetting the actual crown that they worked for to get. It was all very, very interesting. This is why you're sitting here right now. I really had to meet you and try to understand what is happening here.
Oh boy, that's a long story.
I don't like long stories, and that is not
We
why we
are-
are here.
We are a hot mess. That's
That
the
I can
story.
believe based on not only this report, but everything that you have done thus far. So, the offer I'm going to make all of you, if you decide not to take it, you will leave here without an issue. You will be unmolested by myself or my people for the time being. And this report, which has not made it past the little podunk town of Allfield, will not only be sent to every city, town, hamlet, hole-in-the-wall outpost of the Empire. I will make sure of that. I will also add to this report that you are possibly implicated in certain doings, both in Rexingdrum and Zadash. Some of them having to do with theft, others with murder. And not only will you have to look over your shoulders for me and my associates, but you will also have to worry about the crown itself. That is if you decide not to take my very, very generous offer. Because should you decide to work with me, well, it's a business partnership then. And I take care of my business partners. For you see, should you do these things and you are able to wipe the slate clean, not only will this report never see the light of day with the current descriptions of your party. In fact, there will be 7 completely different individuals in this report that resemble you not at all. And you will be able to live out your lives as you see fit within the Empire, without it, not worried about myself, my associates, or the crown seeking you out. Hell, you do a good enough job, I might even pay you myself. So, what say you? Do you think you could work with a individual such as myself, a generous, giving man who did not kill you when first finding out you killed my people and is willing to assist you and make things right? Or do you just simply would like to just walk out the door and take your chances?
I look at everybody and I nod and raise an eyebrow, waiting for a response.
No.
Sora just waits for everybody else to answer.
I like this. I like the second one, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
I'd rather die than be under anyone else's thumb.
Well,
I'd rather take my chance.
I certainly don't second that opinion. This
Now,
is
Me
she
neither.
doesn't speak for all of us.
Yeah, we owe you compensation, and I think that's about fair.
whether I'm morally in favor of our choice here. We're not given much of one, so let's just get on with the business at hand. I think.
I vote with the majority.
Well, seeing
Fine.
as I will say this. What did you say, Phoebe?
I said fine.
Okay, good. Then I don't have to say what I was going to say. Very well. So, business partners, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Drinks. And he kind of motions, and you can see the bartender beginning to pour drinks. People are starting to talk again, and the general din of the actual bar begins to kind of go back to where it was when you first entered. So, I'm sure you have a number of questions for me before we get started. I may or may not be inclined to answer, but please, by all means.
What do you need unfertilized dragonborn eggs for?
So you see, there are individuals who will pay for certain things. And my job is to make sure that they get those things that they pay for and ask no questions. So I honestly don't know what they need it for.
Uh-oh.
They stuck.
All three of
Yeah.
them.
Oh, there we go.
No.
Oh, you're all good.
Okay,
you're all
you're
good.
back.
Go back to why he needs the dragonborn eggs.
I honestly don't know. All I know is that this is what was asked for. This is what was paid for. And my job was to make sure to get it to the person who wanted them.
Can I ask who that was?
No, you may not. Actually, you may. I just won't tell you. That's how else do you think I make my money? I am very confidential with my clients, and they all know this.
Do you know who those dark wizards were that were taking out your men?
Honestly, I thought you would be able to shed some light on that, considering part of that report was about how your friend, and he points to Squall, was being chased down by them. And honestly, they're becoming a bit of a thorn in my side as well. I have some information, but I could always use more.
Well, those were definitely not the individuals who we saw chasing him prior. That was the first time we've ever seen those creatures before.
The ones with the mouths sewn shut, no eyelids,
Yes, they were very scary.
sound like fanatics to me.
Sounded like they didn't do it willingly.
Willingly or not, no one allows themselves to be mutilated in such a way and then continues to live in such a fashion unless there's a part of them that actually enjoys it. So,
Kinky.
indeed. But, anyway, anything else?
Go ahead, say it again.
What are you going to ask us to do?
Oh, so just right to it then. No other questions? All right, very well. So, he begins rubbing his hands together. So here's what's going to happen. I need to see how well you can follow orders before I actually get you to do the real work. So you're going to take care of a few things for me here in Sadash. And based on how you handle this, that will help me determine whether I can actually trust you to take care of your debt clearing tasks. Make sense?
Yes.
I mean, you need to understand a little bit more about how I do business here. And I need to know and see how you all work. Based on that information, that'll determine whether I kill you.
Okay.
All right. So, let's get down to it, shall we? There are a few tasks that I need you to take care of. We'll start with the first task. Essentially, I need you to go to a few individuals here within Zadash and collect. These individuals owe me a certain sum of coin. They are delinquent on that sum, and I can't have that. So, these individuals, you will collect the amount owed to me with a slight bit of interest. And if they do not have the coin in which to pay me, there is another way that they can settle their debt. I will share that with you because you will be making sure that one way or another the debt is settled. So, which one of you is literate? I can take notes, write things down. All right.
I guess that would be me.
Jarina was holding her hand.
Okay.
All right. So, the first individual, halfling by the name of Wildel T. Whistle. He's over in the Western Outer Steads. Little fuck owes me 1,000 gold pieces. He owns a little bar hole in the wall, known as the Private Snail. So make sure he pays the 1,000 gold pieces in full. And if he does not have the actual coin to pay, you are then, the way to settle his debt is you are to destroy his bar. Second individual is Fargren Stouthand. Dwarf owns a little bookstore in the middle of the Innerstead Sprawl. It's kind of close to the Cobalt Archive, which I know you're all familiar with. It's called A Likely Story. He owes me 750 gold pieces. That's with interest. All of these coin totals are with the interest. And if he does not have the coin to pay back, burn his bookstore to the ground. And we'll consider it paid in full. Let's see. Yes. Renoma Longflame. She owns a bakery in the Pentamarket called Grains of Bliss. She owes me 2,324 gold pieces. If she does not have the coin to pay, I will furnish you with Dweez, and the little creepy gnome comes over, kind of hands him a rolled up scroll, and he kind of hands it to you, Jarina. If she is unable to pay what she owes, she is to transfer ownership to the individual on this deed and sign her name to it, and we will consider the debt paid. Next, this one is very important. You're going to see Silvery Dewcloud, elven woman. She's kind of up in years. She runs the White Willow Home Orphanage in the Eastern Outer Steads. That bitch owes me 9,873 gold pieces. If she doesn't have the coin, you are to kill her. And the debt would be paid in full. Any questions? None? Good. Excellent. All right. So, I know we kind of got you, a little bit off guard, and so please feel free to have some more to drink on the house, and we will be returning your weapons to you. And once you are ready to go, by all means, like for you to take care of this as soon as possible. But I don't feel the need to rush on my account. So, we have some cheeses and breads and just general bar food here, but you'll find that the alcohol here is quite exquisite.
Pardon me, Mr. Gentleman.
The gentleman is.
Apologies, the gentleman. Once we have completed these tasks, how will we bring the deeds to your attention?
Oh, well, I trust me. We'll know whether you're doing them or not. But when you are done, just return to the evening nip. Talk with the bartender and tell him you have returned to offer me many gifts. And he'll take it from there.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. Well, I'm very excited about the prospect of seeing how well you do. Honestly, between you and I really would like to see your debt cleared. I'd like for all of this business to be just swept under the rug and be nothing but a happy memory. And I'm sure all of you would care for the same thing.
Absolutely.
Very good. So, yes, enjoy, and the sooner you take care of this, the happier we will all be. So, it's a pleasure meeting all of you. Again, welcome, and I will talk with you soon.
Thank you.
And he gets up from the table. The Goliath follows him as he goes up a set of stairs, and you can see that he's going up the balcony, and he kind of disappears amongst the groups of people that are up on the balcony. And you're just kind of left sitting at this table, looking at each other. Drinks are brought over and just kind of placed in front of you. But everybody in the bar seems to just kind of be going about their business, having drinks, staring at the newcomers.
Well, we've gotten ourselves in a quite a pickle.
Oh, you think? You're all cowards, and I get up and I leave.
You don't have your weapons yet? But you can still leave if you like.
Any one of them can grab my weapons, but I'm leaving the bar to get some air.
Okay. So as you get up to walk out, Roderick kind of steps up in front of you. And he goes, well, if you're going to leave before your friends, I got to walk you out. Which means...
I'm only getting some air.
And he holds up the bag. Means I got to bag you again.
I just stand by the door then.
All right.
Because I'm not sitting at the table with them.
Okay. Yeah, you move over to the door. You move over to one of the doors where you think you probably came in from. And what you didn't see, because it was blocked by the 10 individuals who brought you down here, is that there is a massive ogre sitting by the door. Just got one hand on what at first it looks like some kind of large stick. And as you look at it, it's actually an upside down stone maul that he's just kind of like sitting there with his hand on, just sitting by the door. And as you kind of walk over to the door, he's just kind of staring at you. These huge tusks just coming up from his under his jaw, kind of looking at you.
I simply cross my arms.
He just kind of sits back, continues to watch everybody in the bar.
So who wants to join me in burning places down?
We have
I used
very
to burn
little
down-
choice.
I used to burn down abandoned farms all the time.
Let's hope we don't have to do it.
Yeah, let's hope they have the money.
We have a lot to discuss when we get back.
Yeah, really.
I say we wait a bit before we leave.
All right, this is good. This is some good shit. And he starts drinking some of the alcohol.
I want to assess Leah and Galen's physically to see if they have any injuries.
Make a medicine check.
Question:
Yes.
Was us being knocked out count as a short rest or something stupid? I'm just curious.
Good point. Good point.
Being trussed up and tied is not exactly restful. Especially
But we were knocked out.
Yeah, but when you were knocked out, you were also violently and physically trussed up with ropes. You shortly awakened afterwards to find this creepy dwarf, creepy gnome, just staring at you for the next few hours. Trust me, you both did not rest. You did not feel restful at all. However, in this moment, while you are sitting and drinking, you can absolutely treat that as a short rest if you stay for an hour.
Do you guys want to stay for an hour?
Nah.
Well, we really need to talk about things. Can we just go someplace else?
Yes.
Okay.
I take a big swig of my drink.
And where would you like to all go?
I guess we're leaving the establishment, which means we need to get bagged.
I would suggest that I don't want to say anything too loud because I'm not sure who's listening, but
Oh, they're all listening to us.
we go find my dog.
Do we get our weapons back?
As you guys are all taking off. As you're all taking off, you all get bagged again. And you get turned around, twirled once again. 3 to 5 minutes of just walking you around and trying to kind of basically discombobulate you. You are once again brought upwards into some area out of a building. Walked another 5 minutes into another building. And then the bag's taken off of your head. You are in what looks like kind of like just an abandoned home. Like there's just no furniture, nothing. There's cobwebs, there's dust. And you are surrounded by 7 individuals. And as they take the bags off your head, they kind of throw all your stuff on the ground. There you go, that's all your shit. Good luck.
Cool.
And they kind of turn around and they walk out of the door of this establishment. Serena.
Can I confirm that all of our stuff is there?
Yeah, as you're all kind of going through all of your things, doesn't seem like there's anything missing. And everything that you previously had is still there.
We should probably go back to
Yes.
home.
Okay. So you begin making your way.
Can you press the button?
It's pressed.
Phoebe, I don't want to work for him any more than you do, but I wanted to get out of there alive, didn't you?
Practically consorting with them will put us on bounty wanted posters. If this gets out, how do we know he won't double cross us? We're better off to him dead than we are alive.
I know it sounds strange, but people of this nature tend to keep their word. They have some kind of unwritten code that they live by. I don't think he's going to go back on his word if we do what he asks.
So you'd rather kill innocent people and work under this maniac's thumb?
You don't know if they're innocent.
Yeah, number one,
We have
don't
no
know how
idea.
innocent they are. We're just shaking them down, and if they can't pay, we'll try to impress upon them the need for them to pay.
For all we know, the orphanage could be a child enslavement camp, for all we know.
Well,
And perhaps if we do leave these people alive, what's going to stop them from going to the
Phoebe,
crown?
you can go
And-
back in. That's perfectly fine. You can go back in and stand your ground. I'd like to leave this place alive this evening. You can have your standards and your morals. Go back in, tell them you're not involved, and we'll take care of the job ourselves. No one's holding you back. It's perfectly okay.
You know
That's
what?
up to
You're
you.
right. I'm grabbing my stuff. I'm not going back to him because I know I won't stand a chance by myself. But I am not going to do any of these things that he wants to do. He can hunt me down for all I care.
Okay.
My job, at the end of this, all I care about is setting my father free. I don't know what the hell you all are doing. And if anyone wants to join me, by all means. But I'm gone.
Okay.
This is not a team. I grab my stuff and I start leaving.
Okay, where are you going to go?
Are we still in the city where Leopold is?
Yeah, you're still in Zadash.
I am gonna go to a bar and get myself a drink.
Okay. And the rest of you are going back to the tower?
We're going to the golem.
Yeah, so back to the tower. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I gotta get my makeup on and my hat, so just give me a second. Alright, do I need to do something for the makeup, or are you just gonna speed run this?
No, so you are going to roll me a performance check for the makeup for your disguise kit. You're
Ron,
not.
you
are
want to
you-
help me?
Are you proficient in it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to roll a d20, add your proficiency bonus, and add whatever your performance check bonus is.
Got it. Wait, so wait, hold on. That was very confusing for a second. So just
Roll a
proficiency?
roll a d20,
Okay.
add your proficiency bonus and your performance check bonus.
Is it okay if I use a group inspiration? That was a natural one.
Do it.
Right, so that's a 12. And then proficiencies now are +3, so that's 15. Or do you want me to add the proficiencies from performance?
No. Your proficiency is +2. I believe is +2.
It's +3 now.
So it's +3. Okay. So it's a 20. Whatever you rolled on your nat 20 on your 20, plus the 3, plus whatever your performance check is.
Oh, so that's 20, non-natural.
All right. You begin to use the makeup kit. And what look are you trying to go for?
I'm gonna go for my classical elven look, but
Okay.
The one that I guess most people are now in Zadash are now familiar with.
Okay.
And yeah, I think the only difference is that the hair dye is a lighter gold because the elf I had was a blonde, so I'm just gonna be an even lighter blonde. That's
Sure.
the only difference. And
Yeah.
then the hat would be for like finer details, like the eyes or something. Unless there's like contacts in this universe.
There are no contacts in this universe, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah,
Actually,
Yep.
I do want to test something like while I'm putting the makeup on. I put the makeup over my tattoos. Does something happen or no?
as you put the makeup over your tattoos, they change to a darker color to actually show through. So the makeup doesn't actually cover them. It just seems to change the color of the tattoo to a color that is contrasted to whatever color your skin is.
Okay, so since I'm not going to be talking to anybody, I'll keep the hat off, and I'm just going to keep on gloves, and just cover mostly my face.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
dye my hair a little.
Yeah, and it's decent enough. It's not necessarily dye, but there are like juices from different colored plants that you can actually run through your hair that does lighten it and actually and color it, because you do have very light colored hair. And yeah, with your hood up and the gloves, you could it's not going to pass a scrutiny where they're actually just going to be like right in your face inspecting you. But just at a glance, there's no issues. You would actually very easily pass for a non-drow elf.
Nice. How do I look, everybody?
Fantastic.
Alrighty.
Alright.
So we got some dirty business to do. Let's go.
We're not going to do that right now. We're going back to the tower.
Oh, I wanted to get that done and over with so that we showed that we're good people and that we're good at our job and we get it done fast. But okay.
How is doing that showing that we're good people?
No, good, trustful people to them. But okay, sure.
All right. So the rest of you begin making your way back to the tower. Phoebe, you begin making your way to a bar. And as you all leave this actual building, you see that it just seems to be some random abandoned home, kind of like on the outskirts of this area. Doesn't seem to actually belong to anybody, and just looks like somebody broke in to this abandoned home to kind of just drop you all here. But Phoebe, you find your way to a bar, not too far from this area. And it is called, 1 second, I'll put up my notes. It's called the Greasy Cup. And as you get, it's technically a bar, but it is on a corner. And it's one of those, the bar itself is the majority, the actual bar counter is the majority of this actual location. And it's just kind of like in an L, and then there's like 2 or 3 tables, and that's it. This place is really, really tiny. And as you make your way into the bar, there's probably like 2 or 3 people in the bar just having drinks. They're just like in their cups, not even paying attention. You order a drink from the bartender, gives you an ale. You kind of sit down. And as you sit there and you're drinking, someone comes into the bar. There's some talk with this individual, with the bartender. Bartender just kind of nods and starts walking over to the 3 individuals and starts ushering them out of the bar. The bartender goes back behind the bar, and this individual kind of walks over to your table, pulls back their hood, and you see this half-elven woman, fairly young, probably about your age. Like dark auburn hair. There's like 2 braids in her hair. She's got a few like gold rings. And she just kind of stands there and she kind of looks at you and she goes, "May I sit?"
Might as well.
"Thank you." She kind of sits down. Bartender brings over a drink for her. She kind of begins sipping. She goes, "You seem a bit conflicted, to say the least."
That obvious?
It's kind of written all over your face and your posture. You look like you want to kill someone.
Oh, there's quite a few that I want to kill, actually, but I can't risk having any sort of bill being paid due, so to speak.
She kind of nods. She takes a sip of her drink. I'm Kara, by the way.
Phoebe. And I shake her hand.
Shakes her hand. She goes,
To what do I owe the pleasure?
"Well, I thought I could probably help you, maybe. Shed some light on things for you, and that might help you a bit. You see, I work for a gentleman, and well, I saw your reaction back at the bar, and I've been there before. And I felt I should probably reach out because it seems like your conscience is kind of tearing at you. Is that a good estimation of what's happening?"
More or less.
"Yeah, I figured. Well, see, here's the thing. Well, you've probably heard how bad we all are and we're terrible and all of these things. Look, we're not great people, okay? We're just people, and we're trying to do the best that we can with what we're given. And honestly, the Empire has done little to nothing to help people who are down on their luck. Now, yes, technically, we're all criminals. But here's the thing. We don't hurt innocent people. I wouldn't be working for the gentleman for as long as I have if that's what we did. All right? We do... See, the Empire makes its rules and its laws. They don't really think about how that's going to affect the people at the bottom. A lot of these rules and laws are made by people at the top, not really thinking about how it affects us all. And honestly, before I met the gentleman, I was out there picking pockets, trying to survive, out on the streets by myself. Crown put my parents in prison specifically for worshipping deities that were not approved. It wasn't hurting nobody. But I'd never seen them again. I was on my own. When the gentleman found me, he offered me a better way. Granted, it was still breaking the laws of the crown, but it was definitely better than sleeping on the streets, wondering where my next meal was coming from. And as I said, you don't hurt nobody who either has enough money to not care, doesn't deserve it. Now, I know you don't know me from a hole in the wall. You may not believe anything I'm saying. But I can tell you from my heart, it's the truth. And whatever the gentleman's asking you to do, I mean, he doesn't like being crossed, that's one. But two, he's asking you to do stuff and you feel uncomfortable with. Whatever he's asking, people probably got it coming. Now, granted, that's the way I see it, and you may not determine it that way. But here's the other part of it. You might not know, and he didn't tell you. You all need to do this together, or he's not going to count it because you all fucked him together. You all got to unfuck it together. He ain't going to tell you that, but you need to know. If your friends take care of everything he asked without you, it don't count. He gets what he wants, but you're still all fucked. So just please think about it. At the very least, you have some time. Check these people out on your own. Don't even go back to your friends. Go check these people out on your own. See what you think. See if they do deserve what the gentleman's asking you to do. Make that determination. But if these people are your friends, you might want to be with them on this. If they're not, then fuck them, right? Yeah, but just think about it. Don't just go off all half-cocked and ready to kill just because we're all baddies and criminals. The world's not all black and white. It's not shades of grey, unfortunately. Just think about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like I said, you remind me a little bit of me when I first started out. But I saw how pissed you were, so just thought I'd give you my 2 cents. Hopefully it will help. Don't worry about the drinks. It's all paid for.
I appreciate it. Definitely need it.
Take your time. I won't bother you anymore. But, like I said, please just think on it. She finishes her drink, stands up, she kind of nods to you, puts her hood over her head. Immediately, those 4 individuals come stumbling back into the bar. Sit back down where they were and continue drinking.
As they come stumbling in, I take off my bow, I look at it, and I'm reminded of my mother. And I would just think, what would she do? Because she was an adventurer too. So.
Okay.
With a long sigh, I leave the bar and go back to the golem.
Okay. The rest of you, make your way into the trust.
You guys.
The rest of you make your way into the Trispires without issue. Galen's disguise, seemingly not a problem, and the guards there are starting to get to recognize you as the people who are staying with Leopold. And so you don't get as hassled as you were initially going in. You make your way to the golem. You're transported back up into the tower. And as you make your way into the tower, minus Phoebe, that is where we're going to take our break.
We're alive!
All right, so
we got
Just
some thinking
barely.
to do.
Just barely.
Hey, I just said execution as a joke. Not
Don't give anybody suggestions
Yeah,
again, Galen.
seriously.
Yeah.
Everybody go kill Galen. It's like we're gonna execute
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy.
No, but if we, yeah, no, no killing people.
Well, some of them we have to kill or ruin their lives enough.
Alrighty, so we're gonna take our break. We will be back in a few minutes, and when we come back, we'll see what the group decides to do. So stick around. Hello, everyone. We are back. Hello.
Hello.
All right.
And
So
not dead.
the night is young. So everyone minus Phoebe has made their way back to the tower. Phoebe, you're on your way, but you're just not there yet. And you are now currently in the transport room with the Norman facsimile that's used for teleporting back and forth there. What would you like to do?
Quick question. What time is it, in a sense? Like, was it?
It's
getting
probably like early afternoon ish. So the afternoon is yours. What would you like to do?
Rest.
Mm-mm. I talk to Dorina and I tell her, before we make any hasty decisions, I think we should go investigate these people that we're supposed to go after.
Absolutely.
I, for one, don't want to kill somebody or hurt somebody who is actually just trying to get by.
If I shall remind you, there was only one kill death request if they did not pay.
Well, that's why I said harm. Burning down somebody's business is harming them.
We're just ruining their lives.
You're not there,
much.
Galen.
I am
Yes,
there.
he is.
Yes, he is.
Is he there?
Yeah, you're not there.
No, I'm asking because I thought she only said Sora and Dorina. Didn't they walk away?
No, they're
No,
all
we were
together.
all in the same room.
All right.
Yeah, we're just ruining somebody's life. I don't know what the big issue is.
We don't know what that life is, though. These might be terrible people. It's a lot to consider and a lot that we have to go over.
I don't seem to understand where any of us think we have leverage here.
We
If
don't.
we choose to, whether or not we want to do what we're asked of, won't change the fact that if we don't, our lives might be over.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I have standards, and honestly,
And no one cares. Not even the myriad. They don't care about your standards.
that's really
Yeah.
nice for you. However, I would like to take half a day and maybe ask Leopold if he knows anything about them. If not, then I suggest that I don't want to say the sneakiest of us go and ask questions about these people and possibly observe them. And then we will reconvene and talk about what we're going to do.
I don't think we should involve Leopold in this at all.
No.
I agree with you, Dorina.
All right.
And I'm pretty sure Leopold gave us fair warning that the people we are currently intermingled with are the people we didn't want to be intermingled with in the first place.
I already said all right when Jarina said it. So I just think that we should investigate these people.
I think we should also come up with a strategy where nobody acts alone, jeopardizing the whole group. We have to have a clear understanding of what we're going to do once we get there. Regardless of everybody's personal opinions, all of our lives are on the line, not just anybody's standards or how they feel about the situation.
Galen,
What was that, Rowan?
you're kind of roguish, aren't you? Why don't we ask the people for their money, and while they're hemming and hawing and giving us a hard time, you could just be going in the back door taking it.
That doesn't work.
That's not how that works.
How does it work?
If they see, because we're constantly being surveyed, if they see us actually talk to them, and the people give them our stuff willingly, that might actually count.
But isn't their debt being paid with their money all that counts?
The purpose is that they have to know that they paid back the gentleman. We can't pay it back for them. We can't make it easier for them. The gentleman needs to know that they understood his warning and threats and paid their debt.
Fair
Just
enough.
like we have to pay our debt.
Fair enough.
I do also want to point out that anybody dealing with the gentleman probably either is really desperate, yes, but I mean, they owe a certain amount of money for a reason.
We don't know the reasons either. I agree with you, Jurina. But they're probably not good reasons. We don't know if these people are gamblers or exploiting people, other people. We really don't know.
And it's
Kind of what I want to find out.
I actually agree with Squall that we should, if we surveil them or not, it's not going to make a difference as to whether or not we're going to shake them down for the money. We're going to do it anyway.
We have to.
Yeah, it's the way we survive.
Oh, so you're fine killing a matron of an orphanage? If
You
all
could be
she's
doing
is-
child slavery.
Have
Oh,
you
we
ever
know.
been in an orphanage? Those places suck.
They
People who run them
might
are
suck,
horrible.
but we don't know what she's using the money for, one. And two, yeah, if she's a slaver, then sure. Or if she's doing something nefarious, then sure.
How you doing, Leopold?
Actually, if she's actually a good person, I don't want to kill anyone.
Zora, look at Leopold. He's
Well,
been
only
eating
one
popcorn.
person has to do the killing.
Uncle Leo, how
We're
are
not
you?
going to group stab her.
So much for not telling Uncle Leo.
Don't mind me, I'm not here.
Ay.
He's clearly floating on his disc above all of you, just listening and eating something.
Don't worry, we're wiping our own asses here.
Trying badly.
Not here. Please continue.
No.
This is good.
Sora, if you're worried about killing, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but you don't have to kill anyone.
I'm not suggesting we.
The first choice isn't to kill. It's just get the money, and only one person. Everybody else is a different task.
Yes.
And even if we can get the money, because I'm not saying just outright kill someone. We have to do what is asked of us, and that is to put the money in the gentleman's hands. How we're going to come up with that money to save a potentially innocent life? Well, perhaps we can work on that while we're handling the rest of the business.
I say we don't. I mean, sure, we can get the money, I'm sure of it, but why put in the extra effort when we can just either tell them to give us the money, do our job, and if we do our job good, we don't die. That's all we're going to do. We just do the job, and we don't die. That's our payment.
Yes.
So this whole moral issue you people seem to have, you shouldn't care at all, because it's not our job to care. It's our job to get the shit done.
It's our job to
That
stay
might be
alive.
for you, but that is not me.
You can join Phoebe if you'd like.
I could also leave. However, because you are my teammates and the beginning of friends, I would not leave you to face all of this on your own. Except maybe you, Galen.
I love you too.
But you disembarking from this would also put you at risk. It's the moral objection alone that wouldn't change the fact that
I'm already at risk out there on my own, so
Are you a potential spy?
not even.
Aren't we all?
I did find that flattering that I was considered a potential spy.
She called me brain addle.
Yeah, you got the lower end of the stick. I was expecting that to be me.
But if we can pay off the debt, as Squall suggested, then
That would be a big weight off of our shoulders.
yeah.
I do expect him to keep asking us for favors after it's all said and done, though.
We're
No,
killing two birds with one stone.
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
debt of the people. This is one of the reasons why I want to actually investigate who these people are.
You shouldn't.
I
You'll be
don't
very
care what you
disappointed.
think. I really don't at this moment.
Well, we have to do something, so
We have to do the job.
yeah. And what started the fight with the Myriad in the first place?
Simply
the
signing
job.
up for another job.
But why did we end up killing the men from the Myriad?
Emotional bias, perhaps?
Uh-huh.
Morals.
Rash decisions.
Well, if it were one of your babies being taken away.
They were not your kids.
Oh no.
Okay, Galen, I was an orphan.
So was I.
Well, you know, you and I have very different things going on then.
The egg was already cracked. So
Yeah.
there was
And after
were-
what you told me about what went on in Zarzeth Kittrell, that the eggs were being stolen, got me thinking. And then when I smelled it, all I saw was red.
No, I understand that, but we're in this mess now because we killed those people because you smelled the cracked egg. And we don't know, for all we know, they could have been rescuing it. I mean, they weren't. We know that now. But at the time, we didn't.
You were
So
already
we-
on their radar,
On whose radar?
the Myriad. Because if you remember, he mentioned the Zarzeth Kittrell incident.
Yes, but if we had helped his buddies rather than killed them, we would have had a very different conversation.
I don't think it's worth arguing about who's to blame for the situation that we're in and just how we get out of the situation.
Yes, but we have to get out of the situation. I'm not dying on the altar of everybody else's morals, is I guess what I'm saying.
Understood.
It's at this point that there's a flash of light, and Phoebe is now in the room with all of them.
Patty.
I run up and hug her. I'm so glad you're alive.
Get the fuck off me.
Okay.
I am going to make something very clear. I don't trust any of you.
Leah laughs outright. Absolutely laughs.
The only reason I came back is because one of the Myriad henchmen told me that if I leave the group, all you are fucked anyway, regardless if you try to do the tasks or not. And unlike you, all of you are trying to save your own asses. I care.
You have tried to kill us more times than the enemy. I have
Yes.
sustained more damage from you than any other creature we have fought. But that's okay. We will move on.
I care about my family not getting the repercussions of me being either killed by the Myriad or taken.
I care about my family too. But I'd rather die trying to help my father than rot in a cell and have failed him.
But you're not helping your father by dying in a bar from the Myriad at all.
And sitting in a cell is any better?
At least you would have tried to stay alive so that you can continue to help your father. just as I made my decision so that my family, my 4 or 5, all my brothers and my sisters, my parents didn't, they own a toy shop. They're currently being forced to make weapons for the Empire right now. Like, I don't need any more problems just because I got into trouble and died or got captured by the Crown as a fugitive because of everybody else's decisions. So we work together and understand that we do care, but we also have things that we need to do as well. And we're better off alive to be able to do them than dead.
And don't
Well,
don't be mistaken. A few of us here simply know that the choice is black and white, moral compass aside. I care enough to know that I'm a part of a group that I want to see get out of this situation.
Well, what good is a group if we don't trust each other? Or we're looking after our own asses? To a point like Galen. He'd rather leave us in the dust than anything else. I came back because I don't want all of you to die simply because I walked away. I know he wouldn't do that.
You almost got us killed in the bar this evening.
Times.
We almost didn't make it out alive. Our objective was to get out alive tonight, and we did, with very little help from you. So we have to figure out a plan to get through this and get through it.
Together.
I made up my mind. I'm gonna take a shit.
I hate you.
Love you too.
Like Galen or not, misinterpret his lack of emotional investment. It's still plain to see that if we don't help each other in this situation, like it or not, we're dead.
Yes.
And I would like to point out that my decision to do the jobs was with everybody's life in the back of my mind, including yours, Phoebe. It was not just for my own. It was for all of us, including you. I want you alive to help your father as much as I want everybody else to be able to do their thing.
Sooner we get this done, the better off I'll be.
The better off all of us will be.
Let's go find that halfling.
Oh dear, can we leave her home?
Unfortunately not.
I'm kidding, Rowan.
I always try to help.
She can draw pictures so that we'll have proof of our deeds.
Can I roll performance for how good a shit I had?
Did you try to make one of those really noisy and
Roll.
exaggerated?
Roll a Constitution check for me, please.
Saving throw or just straight Constitution?
Constitution check. D20 and your Constitution modifier.
Natural 1.
All right, so Galen leaves the room, and you all continue talking. And Galen, you find there is an indoor privy, and you make your way into it. And as you're just kind of sitting there and you're contemplating everything, you all begin to hear Galen like, "Oh my God!" And Galen, you don't know what you ate, but it is not agreeing with you at all. And it's bad. It is. If you feel like you're going to be propelled through space, but someone is trying to rip your insides out from behind. It's the most terrible of feelings. It is
20 points of damage.
It is worse than the squirts. It's bad. It's you're trying to launch yourself into space like a billionaire. It is bad.
Menzo Baranzan's revenge.
And as you all stop arguing as this happens, and Leopold just goes, "Ooh, I should really check on that. Continue." And he floats out of the room. And you just hear a knocking on the door. You're right there, kid?
What were in those eggs this morning?
Oh, you have a delicate constitution. Oh, isn't that a shame? Yeah, just let me know when you're done in there. I'm so glad I know prestidigitation. And he just kind of floats away. Goes back into the room with all of you. He'll be fine. Let's move on. Ignore that. Continue.
I have nothing left to say.
All right. So I will interject here and say, everyone, gonna have a nice, good dinner. And afterwards, family meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
Leopold.
And kind of floats out, kind of leaving you all to your devices. Galen, eventually, you finish. And it's not pretty. And as you exit, Norman is standing there, and he's got a mop and a bucket in his hands. And as you leave, you swear that Norman is just leering at you. He doesn't have a face. It's just a feeling. As you walk away and you hear him and then slam the privy door shut as he enters with the mop and bucket. You all continue having your conversations. There is dinner presented. Oh, we lost someone.
Sorry.
No problem. You all continue you begin to eat dinner. As usual, a good meal. Galen is passed a loaf of bread and a goblet of water. And every time Galen reaches for anything other than water or bread, Norman smacks his hand. And you watch Leopold go, "Good job, Norman. It's for your own good, kid. Blow up my privy." All right. So, everybody got a good meal in them?
Yes, Leopold.
All right. Good job. Good job. All right. So, time for the family meeting. And he kind of swirls his hand around, and you watch as the food, the table, the chairs you're sitting on begin to disapparate. But you don't fall to the ground. You are sitting now on benches. And you kind of look around, and you are oddly in what looks like similar to the room of judgment that you were all in Trostenwald when you first encountered the lawmaster there, and she began asking you questions. So very much like a legal proceeding, this room looks like now. There's benches. There's a large chair where there is a riser, and sitting in that large chair is Leopold. But then standing next to you is also Leopold. And Leopold goes, "All right, so here's what's going to happen. They're going to put you on a stand,
and they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. And you just got to be honest because the judge doesn't like it when you lie. And we'll get through this family meeting without any problems or anybody getting arrested. Okay? Cool.
And then immediately out of a door that you just appeared out of nowhere is another Leopold that just kind of floats in. He goes, I would like to call to the stand Galen, the bad shitter.
Hey, I hadn't had real eggs.
Get
before.
up on the fucking stand.
All right.
All right, so Galen, you proceed to go up to the stand next to the judges, to where the judge is sitting, who is also Leopold. And he just kind of bends over to you, goes,
First time, kid?
You know, there are no courts in Rockhold. So yeah, first time.
All right, yeah, just be honest. It's all painless. Trust me.
And so Leopold goes up to you, and he just kind of puts his hand up on the area where you're sitting, goes,
So, Galen, if that is your real name, why don't you tell the court why you're here?
Because I'm assuming I made a bad mess.
Not
in
the whole,
bathroom.
not the shitting part. Like, why you're with the group? All right, look, this is a family meeting, right? You've never had a family meeting before.
Yeah.
This is where you bare your souls to each other. Sometimes you fight it out, but this is how you gain trust. You tell everybody your deepest, darkest shit, and you sometimes you ask for forgiveness. Sometimes you tell them you're better than they are. All the crazy family shit. Has no one ever done this before?
and all three of the Leopolds just all look at all of you, like waiting for you all to answer. Jarina.
I have.
Okay, that's one. Nobody else?
I mean, my family meetings were very not like this. We don't talk about like our personal things too often. I don't know. This is new.
Oh wait, so this is too formal? That's what you're saying?
No, I mean this is too elaborate. I've done formal stuff like.
Oh,
this,
okay, yeah, I can take it down a notch. It's fine.
And he waves his hand, and immediately everything around you begins to warp and disapparate. And now the chairs under you become softer, and you find yourselves on what look like these velvet bean bags. And there's a very, very low red light now in the room, and you all look down and you all have a hookah hose in your hand, and there's a hookah next to all of you. And sitting in the middle of all of you is Leopold, just kind of like on a reclining couch. And Norman is holding a hookah hose up to his mouth, and he's just sucking in the smoke and then blowing it out. It's like,
All right, man. So let's all just share our feelings and like really get this all out in the open, because I'm feeling a lot of tension, man, and like a lot of, hostility. And so I think we all need to really, really talk it out. Really, just really get it all out in the open, man. Right? I took it down a notch, right? But this is better, right?
I like this. I like this.
All right, so who wants to go first?
I guess I will.
Cool.
Well, I already told you, Leopold, how I grew up. I believe I've told most of it to the others, but in case some of you don't understand, when the war happened and Tiamat, I believe it was, that killed a lot of my brethren.
Not Tiamat. Not
Families.
Tiamat. Not Tiamat.
Which one was it, hon?
It was the White Dragon.
The White Dragon. When all of that happened, my brethren took only the orphans into the Mage Guild. And while we were fed and taken care of and taught, we weren't exactly nurtured. We're a tool. So when I smelled the egg on Roderick, it kind of reminded me of my plight. And no, I may not have thought in the moment what that might have meant, but you'll forgive me, I hope, for reacting emotionally. Considering that you were already on the Myriad's radar when I joined you, it might have been the straw that broke the camel's back, but it wasn't the only straw.
That's deep, man. Thank you for sharing, Sora.
I forgive you, Sora.
Now, with what we have to do now, I don't agree with it because harming innocent people is not something that I'm willing to do, and to have companions who would do it willingly just to save their own skins, it rubs me the wrong way.
All right, you're bringing the tension levels higher again, Sora. Like we were like at a really nice, like we all love each other place, and then you just went and fucked that real good, man. So like, let's just bring it down a notch. like it's okay. Take a deep breath. And,
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that. Not saying that I won't go and do whatever needs to be done, but I don't necessarily agree with it.
I know you don't agree with it, but we have to act as a unit, and we have to be able to trust that you're not going to run off or do anything like that, because we're part of a team.
No,
And-
I won't.
Okay.
All right, so Rowan, why don't you share with the group now? Like, tell us how you're feeling. Like, what do you think the group needs to know about you that's gonna bring all of you closer together?
I'm sure you guys know that I can't really sit still and not be reading or drawing or asking questions or, it's because I have to keep my brain going constantly. I used to be a soldier, actually, and my unit was decimated in the war. And so I'm always constantly fidgeting and doing little things just to, not remember the worst day of my life. So that's sort of the reason why I'm a bit addle-brained. I try to help, though. I do my best to help the group because I was taught that the people you serve with are your new family, and that's what you guys are to me.
Thank you, Rowan. Now you all know why she's so weird. That's not so bad, right?
No.
Yeah, you know a little more, and it's all coming together, man. You all understand a little more about each other. Let's keep this vibe going now, man. So who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go.
Okay, shit boy, go for it.
So, as some of you probably already know, I'm from Rothold, the shittiest place on Earth, where I get my name shit from. So,
TMI. TMI.
So, I have constantly had death loom over my head, constantly, for either bumping into someone, or pissing too many people off, or just making sure wild monsters don't fucking eat you at night. Because it's not a nice place there. Yeah, so if I make jokes like, hey, why don't you execute us, or whatnot, to me, that's my sense of humor, because I don't care if I die. I try to live my life best way I can. And if that means pissing off the mafia, cool. That's a great way for me to go out.
Wow, that's incredibly sad and fucked up.
Why do you think I drink?
Oh, sure. Like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, you know, you should probably stop, because that's probably why you shit so bad. But yeah, now you all kind of know why Galen is the way he is. Probably needs a hug, but I'm not gonna do it because I saw what that privy looked like. So yeah, I mean, at some point, you know, somebody should probably hug that guy. Because he doesn't care if he dies. And that's a fucked up way to live, folks. It really is. So, Galen, I care if you die.
Oh.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey.
Like, I'll take it back immediately. Don't do that.
Okay.
All right, just remember that, you know, while it might not be the people in this room who care if you live or die, there are probably some people out there who do care. I'm hoping that some of the people in here care, but just think on that.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Why do you think we keep you around?
Because I can fight well?
No.
It's not?
We broke the DM.
Continue. Continue.
I mean, I'll happily just call it like I see it. I'm a soldier, and well, your fighting prowess is all I need to determine whether or not I'm going to live or die in your presence, and that goes for any of you here. And in all actuality, there's already been some instances where we almost died to our actions. And I need not name names. We are all equal. We all equally have a role here.
It's probably Galen.
Well,
continue.
I'm
sorry.
I'm glad I wasn't near that privy. But the difference here is I'm not interested in building a new family. I've already lost one. I'm interested in working together, keeping my skin, and attempting to make sure that those who I'm working with also keep their skin. And as a soldier, I already know that it's emotions will simply get in the way and likely be an early death. I don't mean to make any of you do anything you don't want to do. I can't, in fact, make any of you do that. but I far easier decided on things of the matter. And all of this emotions that's building up here is, as far as I'm concerned, a waste of our time. And Galen, maybe cut back on the drink a little bit.
Not until the demons go to sleep.
Wow. Fuck, man. I don't think there's enough hugs for you, dude. Like, really. Shit.
Is there a spell to like erase his traumatic memories?
Don't you fucking do that. I will murder you. And I don't care if I die trying. Don't mess with my
We're gonna
fucking
all
head.
right. No. We're just gonna continue. We're gonna move on. Squall, thank you for sharing. That was an interesting insight into you, I believe. It's like I think Norman has a little more emotion than you currently do. But I now understand why you're very much like a golem now. There's a lot of things coming into. See, this is why this is good to like do this. We start to understand each other. We start to get to know why we do the things we do, who we are, right? And while some of those things may not be pretty, if using what Squall said, like, if you want to stay alive, understanding those things is very important. Who would like to go next?
I'll go.
All right.
I have military rank because it has served us in the past with getting supplies. As we saw when we passed through the gates of, I can't remember where. I can't remember anything.
Trustable?
That was it, maybe. I don't really know. So fighting with a team has always been my priority, and keeping everyone alive is important to me. Especially when we're fighting together, we have to be able to trust each other. I have trained with Drow, so I easily took to Galen because he's comfortable. He's the people I know. And you've met Lucy, who also has served us well, even though she's terrifying when she wants to be. I have a particular set of skills, and they may border on the questionable side sometimes, but again, it serves us when we need it. And I make it a point not to harm anybody who can't handle it financially. So I think that as a team and as a group, we're going to have to work together to survive this. And I'm all in to survive. All of us, though, have to survive. So, okay.
Thank you, Leah. That was very, very enlightening. And it's good to see that you are one of those individuals who kind of gets the bigger picture of things. I think it's a little weird how sometimes you talk to yourself, but that's okay. I do that. I mumble and talk to myself all the time too. So that's cool, man.
I'm talking to Lucy. She's right in my pocket.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I talked to my. I stopped talking to my familiar years ago because they only talk back if you want them to, and they really don't have much to say. So I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, but thank you for sharing, Leah. I appreciate that, and I hope all of you now have a clearer picture of what kind of drives Leah, and, who she is and how she thinks. All right. So who would like to go next?
I suppose I will. I am going to start off by saying, when I went to refuse the gentleman, I honestly thought that our chances were better without him, because we were already wanted to begin with. It was not an attempt to save my own skin. Any misunderstanding with that, I want to apologize for that. What my issue is the fact that we do not trust each other. When I came to this group, I was under the impression that we were going to help each other. And my goal, while helping you all, was to help me get my father out. I have close people I consider family. But my father is my only blood that hasn't casted us out. He's the only person of blood that I have left in my life. My mother died when I was an infant. She was an adventurer. Her bow, I carry with me. Her cloak, I carry with me. The only two pieces I have left of her. And my father is the only one that I have left. I may not have military experience. Maybe I don't see the bigger picture like you all. I'm new to this. But I do have experience with traveling and understanding from a more objective point of view, which is probably why I don't see a bigger picture at the time. I'm not used to being with a group. But with the way that everyone has been acting and fighting, it leaves me no ability to trust you. The only person that I remotely became close to trusting is Jarina. Because we had an understanding. And as all this went, it just seemed that none of you cared. And I did not appreciate that. So, going forward, I will try to put my trust and faith in you all. Because my death will not do my father any good. But when it comes down to it, if one of us were to betray another, I won't hesitate to leave one of you behind. That's it.
As Phoebe finishes, you all watch as Norman just walks over to Phoebe, holds out his arms, and then hugs her. Phoebe, it is cold, it is metal, it is awkward. But then he just releases her and walks back over to Norman, to Leopold. Leopold goes,
Oh, a lot of you that need hugs, man. Wow. Don't worry, Phoebe. It'll be okay. We'll get your father out of wherever he is. But I think Phoebe is a perfect example of someone who wants to trust, but has not been shown trust. And again, I think that has it's a big thing for a group to actually trust each other. Right? You can accomplish a lot of great things, but there has to be trust. So, Jarina, you're the final one of the group. Would you like to share with us?
Well, a lot of my story I've gone over with a number of you, and Phoebe, if what you said was true, I hope that you know that me making the decision meant that you would live as well. I honestly, as much as I stay away in fights, I'm trying to make sure that somebody is capable of helping you guys not die. And I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. I mean that in, I feel as though I have proven capable of, with the exception of Hope, of preventing everybody from dying, especially after Hope. I don't want any of you to die. I mean, even after the pit of death, Leopold asked me, and I said, no, let them live, because I care about each and every one of you, and I think that each and every one of you can do something with yourselves, and to be able to, like in Phoebe's instance, save her father. For me, find out what the hell I am and what my purpose is, because it's kind of frustrating being an outsider, and I've grown up as an outsider my entire life. I mean, I'm the youngest of 5 gnome siblings, born into a gnome family, not adopted, born, and not know why I am the way I am, or why I've been touched, or more than touched, as so I've been told, by Melora and whatever else I'm having dreams of. I don't want any of you to die. I want all of us to continue on our adventures together and help one another. And I know for sure that I can't find my answers. Phoebe can't find her answers. Any of you can't find your answers without each other. We were told that from the beginning. We were going to need each other's help. And so we need to remember that we all have a common goal in mind, and that's to help one another and to keep each other alive.
Thank you, Jarina. I do appreciate all the healings you've done, but Leo, you were going to kill us?
Yeah, really.
I asked Jarina, like, should you guys live or die? And she was like, live. I was like, cool.
Thank you, Jarina, for saving us when we didn't even know it.
I wasn't actually going to kill you. I just wanted to. I wasn't going to kill you. I just wanted to see what she would say.
Oh.
You guys were already slathered with makeup already. That would have been too funny. I wasn't going to let that not happen.
Honestly, it was quite humiliating, but it's some way understandable.
But thank you, Jarina, for sharing with us and letting us all know how you feel about the group and a little bit about your insight of who you are. And I think it's only fair if I share as well. All right, so I am Leopold von Scott. You all know this. Everybody knows this. But what you might not know is that, well, I am me only because of what happened to my cousin. When he disappeared looking for his son, I realized that I needed to find him and help him. The only way I could do that was to become the most badass wizard that ever was. And so I read, and I trained, and I adventured. Because, damn it, being a wizard is fucking expensive. And so it just rinse and repeat, just trained and read and adventured and trained and read and adventured and gathered power and learned to delve into the secrets of the arcane, finding all of the things I was never meant to find to increase my power, to make me who I am today, so I could find my cousin, who was like a brother to me, an older brother. And then I did. I couldn't find him. And I couldn't help him. And I thought I had failed. But I was already on a path. And I realized that I should continue this path. Because the next time some motherfucker tries to take somebody from my family, I'ma jam a lightning bolt up his ass.
Hear, hear.
And then, one day, purely by accident, these weird fuckos find my cousin. And then just show up. Saying we did something that you couldn't do for years. And it was purely by accident. I wanted to jam lightning bolts up all your asses. But then I calmed down and I took a breather. And I realized that there was probably a reason why you could do what I couldn't. But also, what happened to him made me who I am today. It would have never happened. If I would have found him, I probably would have stopped and been like, you know what? It's enough. I found him. I got the power to find him, and here he is. So I want to say thank you for finding Bertrand for me. I really, really do appreciate that. You lucky fucks. And honestly, if it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't for not finding him, I wouldn't be the badass wizard that I am today. And I wouldn't be able to actually help all of you like I'm helping you right now. So now you know a little bit more about me. Maybe that'll help you understand. No.
And as he's saying no, you can see that Norman is trying to hug him. He's like, it's fine, Norman. It's okay. It's fine. Norman just kind of backs off.
So everybody feel a little better. Let's take a deep breath. In with the good air. Out with the bad shit. Not you, Galen. Just we're talking about breathing this time. Not your bowels. Just breathing. Right? And
Rowan takes a hit off the hookah.
Yeah.
That's it. See, she gets it. She understands.
And it's delicious. It is grape. And it is wonderful, and it's just flavorful. It is nice.
And it's like, all right, okay. So does everybody feel a little bit better? Yeah.
Yes.
We all understand a little bit more about each other than we did previously.
Yes.
Yes, but I
Okay.
still don't like what we have to do.
See, you gotta like, we get it. Like, we understand. You said it. You don't have to keep repeating it because it's just gonna make people feel bad. Right? So, like do like I do. Hold all that shit inside. Right? Just let it fester and grow.
Turn into Galen.
And then when the person that really needs the ass kicking shows up, you let it all out on them. That's what helped me live to the ripe old age of 109. Is I do that. But, that's just me. Maybe you're a little different. But just remember, you gotta all trust each other. Otherwise, all of this crazy shit that you're talking about, and again, I want no context whatsoever. I got bits and pieces. All I know is the drama was juicy and I loved every bit of it. But whatever it is, you got to take care of it together. And the only way you can do that is you got to talk to each other. You got to trust each other. Right? Nobody ever said like each other. All right? I don't want anybody like saying, "Oh, Leopold said we got to like each other." No. You can trust people. You can love them. But you don't have to like them. All right? And you can still get shit done. You can save someone's father. You can find out about yourself. You can take care of the issues at hand that all of you have. Damn it. Wow, some of you got some real bad issues. But you gotta start somewhere. This is it, folks. This is where we start. All right? So, everybody's feeling good. Everybody's feeling better. Enough of this mushy shit.
And he makes a gesture, and immediately you're sitting on the hard tables. The hookahs go away. You're sitting on the hard chairs. The table's in front of you. There's some cheeses and breads and some light drinks. He goes, "All right, so just here's a little, a little evening snack before you go to bed, because it sounds like you got a lot of crazy shit to take care of tomorrow. So I wish you luck. And if I got to do this shit again, we're going back to the courtroom."
Yes, sir.
All right. And I'm going to dig till I get into the issues. I don't care how bad they are. And then he just looks right at you, Galen.
Because damn, man, the demons really? You're like what? 20? 21?
48.
Yeah, for a drow, you're like, that's around the right side. Yeah. So what the fuck, man? Who pissed in your bottle? I mean, really?
My friends were eaten alive in front of me. I think that helps.
Yeah, that'll probably do it.
And other things?
Yeah, don't want to know. But I'm starting to get a really clear picture. All of you should probably lock your doors at night. Just saying. And yeah, Galen, just like a scotch less on the booze. Just a scotch. Yeah, and I'm not asking you to just kick the habit right away, just because, I've seen monks that actually it helps them. And so I get it. Right. But just, enough to help you, but not enough to piss everybody else off. You get what I'm saying? Just some friendly advice. That's all. Just, take it or leave it. It's fine. All right. All of you have a good night. And good luck with everything. I'll be around.
Thank you, Leopold.
Yeah, you got it, kids.
And he begins to float away on his disc. Norman just following him as he leaves. You all just kind of sit around this table, kind of looking at each other a little bit, knowing a little bit more than you did previously. Still having these daunting tasks ahead of you. Who knows? Maybe this little family meeting helped. Maybe it made things worse. We'll see, because this is where we're going to end it for the evening.
Nice.
Do we get pie now?
Not after my fiasco.
No, but here's some cheese.
Here's some cheese.
We need cheese.
Not for you, Galen.
Norman reaches out from an interdimensional hole and smacks Galen.
See, this is how everything's gonna end up.
Here we go!
I don't think so.
It is now
That
canon that
pretty much
Galen-
sums up everything that's gonna happen. Okay, here we go.
That would be a terrible battle cry. That would be the worst. But yeah, so this was a great game, everyone. That was a great game.
Virtual high fives for everybody.
Yay!
We didn't die. That's always a plus.
Oh yeah, that was
That would have been bad.
that was touch and go there. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was scared.
But no, that was great game, everybody.
GG's.
Yeah. So thank you to my players for an amazing session. Thank you to all of you for sticking around and watching the craziness that ensues. Few quick shout outs. Ocelotus, thank you for cheering 500 bits. DM brings them together, and one conflict later, it takes a poo gone horribly wrong to cut the tension. Thank you, Ocelotus. Also, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Tempest Thema. Tempest Thema, enjoy the sub and enjoy the emotes that go along with it. And of course, Lady Poopsie, thank you for the resub for 9 months. You're awesome.
No, you.
I'm all right. But thank you. I mean, this was a great game. I had a lot of fun. I hope you all had fun too. Next week should be interesting, as you now have this list of things you have to do for the gentleman. That'll be an interesting game next session. So, thank you again to everybody. As we close out, we are going to raid someone, and as I take a look to see who that will be, let's see, we have Ion Nuke is on right now, so we're going to raid Ion Nuke. And again, everybody, every time we raid, we want to share the love with the people who are sharing it back with us, by supporting what we're doing, by just being generally a great person. That's what we always try to do here. And so remember, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Let's keep lifting each other up and supporting the things that we love and are passionate about. And we will see you next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.